flavoured collagen gum. And I'll take out a white pellet, well, if I can. Oh, there we go. There's a white pellet. Pop the lid on carefully. Now this white pellet is 1.5 times the size of regular chewing gum. Well, BK Juicy Fruit extra chewing gum that we get in Australia, and this is just a nice size for chewing during this video, in my humble opinion. So I'm going to, without further ado, I'm going to pop that in my mouth. I plug in my lightboard. It's on 100%. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, I've got the little ruler there to give the camera something to focus on. But today I'm doing a map drawing video of Indonesia and the surrounding countries. What I'll probably do, I think this is Malaysia at the moment that I'm tracing around. Oh no, maybe not. This is Malaysia down here. Anyway, Malaysia. What I'll do is I'll probably concentrate on the right hand side of the video, although I can see the outline there quite clearly. Yeah, I'll do the outline of the, as I say, I'll concentrate on the outline of the video. Yeah, I'm not sure where that thought was going actually. Oh well. I'll press on. Well, what I actually, when I was getting ready to do this video, I was surprised how little I knew about Indonesia, considering that this is Australia here, how close it was to Australia. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think, well, the closest country to Australia is Papua New Guinea. But there's also New Guinea over here, which is part of Indonesia as well. there's a stack of islands. There's a stack of islands. 17,500 islands makes up Indonesia. There's more islands here I've got to catch. Little islands there. Did I say I have the ruler there to give the camera something to focus on? I've said it many times in the past. But anyway, until I start getting some pencil on paper, the camera can struggle with the automatic focus. Yeah, so Indonesia, 280 million people live there. It's the fourth most populous country in the world, behind China, India and the USA. It's just that sort of just means it's the fourth. It's the country with the fourth highest population. I should write these facts down, I suppose, but I'm too busy at the moment concentrating on my tracing. Okay, well, there's a little island there I missed, and maybe something there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to spin the light board around. For some reason, the light board is more brighter on this side than on that side. I probably should get myself a new light board, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, so I'll spin it around now and edit out the bit where I spin it around. So I'm going to do it in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the light board's been spun around. It's giving me more light over this side of the map. This is the island of Java that I'm tracing around, and there's the capital of Jakarta. So that's Bali there, I'd say. There's up into Malaysia, and there's Singapore down here on the tip somewhere. This is up into Thailand, I think it is, yeah, Thailand. There's a border there, so I'm just not 100% sure yet, but I'll find out before the end of the video if that's a separate country. So this is Vietnam, Cambodia. I think this is on my short list, is to do a map map of Vietnam. Maybe combined it with Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, maybe. I think. Okay, well that's pretty good. So I finished my tracing. So what I'm going to do is take the lightboard away and edit out the bit where I've taken it away. So I'm going to do that in 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to start colouring in the Indonesian parts. Actually, what I should have done first is to label all the other countries so that you have a better idea earlier on in the video exactly what you're looking at. So I'll do that now. Actually this little piece over here, I might give this a bit of a sharpen. So we've got Laos, this is Thailand, this is Burma over here, there's Burma down there, this is Malaysia. I had a bus years ago, used to pronounce it Malaysia. He was English, that's right, yeah. But we might have snickered behind his back. Or actually I think that's what I used to, because he called it Malaysia. Then when he wasn't around, I would pronounce it as Malaysia as well, to get a bit of a laugh out of the other people that I worked with. Malaysia. Oh, this is the Philippines here. Philippines, another archipelago, which is Indonesia was originally called the Indian there, maybe a bit there. Yeah, okay. And actually, I think I've got that bit there wrong, or incorrect, and I better get that right. Because that is the island of Bali, which is sort of a major holiday destination for Australians. Is to go to Bali for a cheap holiday. Well, a cheap holiday. Oh, now this is interesting here because this is East Timor, but anyway. But with Bali, no, I better write that in. Actually, this is East Timor, which is a separate country. And there's Timor. Oh, on the left is Timor, which is part of Indonesia. And that is East Timor. Okay, now, Bali. I have an interesting, I've never been to Bali, but I don't know, really sure why. I probably would enjoy it. Anyway, I think it's people that go there to party. I think a lot of drinking and that kind of stuff, laying out in the sun, buying cheap clothes and things. Now, where was I going with that story? Oh yeah, so it's, I suppose, in a way. Oh no, I won't say that. Anyway, so I was coming back in on an international flight into Sydney Airport. Trying to think, might have been from the USA, and at the same time, it was early in the morning, and at the same time, a plane from Bali landed as well. And when you come through Sydney Airport, you hop off the plane, and before you get to the customs, show your passport section, hand in your little travel card to say you haven't got any food or dirty shoes or anything. There's a grog shop, so it's a bottle shop where you buy alcoholic beverages. A bottle of wine, a grog shop, and I think it's changed now. But anyway, this was a while ago. But then all the people from Bali, they were stopping at the bottle shop to buy their duty-free beverages, duty-free alcoholic beverages. And the people from America just sort of coming in from America just sort of trundled through, and I didn't worry about it, but it seemed like, this is a generalisation, that the Bali people were getting all their duty-free alcoholic beverages. A bit of Sharpie time. And in the last couple of years, I can't remember when it started, there's a man, or it could be a woman, doesn't really matter, there's a person on the till at the end where you can pay for things and take them with you on your way. So it's actually I'm not sure if there's any other countries that would do that. But anyway. Okay, a little bit of Mr. Brush time. There's a limit, I'm sure there's a limit to the amount of alcohol that you can bring in duty free. Anyway, I know for cigarettes it's only something like 25 cigarettes that you can bring in duty free, otherwise you've got to pay the duty on them. And I didn't know that because I don't smoke, but it just seems such a low amount. Okay, there we go, that's done. So, yeah, cigarettes are in a packet of cigarettes. Not 100% sure how much they cost, but you know, $50, 50 Australian dollars for a pack of, you know, legal cigarettes. There's a lot of people selling the black market ones for, you know, $10 a pack, I suppose. I'm not 100% sure. About, yeah, but the cigarettes sort of, I don't really know the prices, but that's what I've seen, and there's all these. It seems like every time you turn on the news in the morning, there's these little tobacco shops getting ram-raided and fire-bombed, which I think is all part of the organised crime and their distribution of the black market cigarettes. But anyway, that's got nothing to do with Indonesia. Okay, so what have I told you so far? Pop. 280 odd million. 17,500 islands. With Java, which is this island here. It's Java. This, I think, is Sumatra. This island. Sumatra. Java. Sumatra. Oh, yes, so Bali is right about there, I think. Bali, Bali. New Guinea, there is Ambon. Ambon is there. And what else do I have to tell you about Indonesia? I read somewhere that Marco Polo, when he was there, was the first European to visit Indonesia. I didn't write down the year, unfortunately. Marco Polo, and then from 15, it's obviously before 1512. That's when the Europeans started arriving, the Portuguese, Dutch and British traders. I might write that as traders. Traders, yep. And started arriving, and then there was the Dutch East India Company. Dutch East India Company. was the, and then in 1799 Indonesia became the Dutch East Indies. So before that, the Dutch East India Company was heavily involved in trading, and then in 1799 something happened, which was now I did read that there was some war that somebody lost or something. I've just forgotten now, but anyway, that was the opportunity for Netherlands to declare Indonesia as before it was Indonesia, as the Dutch East Indies, and it became a colony. And today, one of the flavours from Indonesia some scuffles. Dutch tried to reinstate their rule, but they bowed to Dutch tried to re-establish their rule, but in 1949 they bowed to international pressure. Bowed to international pressure, and pressure, yeah, and no longer contested Indonesia as their own. Okay, so I think this island is called Kalimantan. There's the capital there of Jakarta. New Guinea, Ambon. There's a town there called Kapang in Timor. Spalian. Denpasar. Denpasar might be the... No, I was going to regret doing that the other way. Denpasar might be the island of Java. Half the population. Sumatra. Medan. Pekanbaru. Pekanbaru. Hope you can see that. Palembang down here. Palembang. So, a few other towns. There's been Bandang, or cities actually, not really just towns. And up here we've got Semarang. I just sharpened my pencil. So, Australia, and it's worthwhile mentioning Australia and Indonesia. Surabaya actually get on very well together, considering it's a different sort of a population mix, I suppose. And up here is kind of packed. Down here in Australia is sort of almost empty. There's a lot of trade. Makassar. Both ways actually. A lot of Sala. We send a lot of raw materials and things to, well, agricultural things, like there's a lot of live cattle get exported from Australia into Indonesia. I often see biscuits in the shops that are made in Indonesia. Probably other things as well. So South China Sea. Oh, this is the Indian Ocean. I've got to do the Sharpie thing, haven't I? To finish off. And down here is the Pacific Ocean up here somewhere right here. That's the Philippine Sea. Right up here. Pacific Ocean. And this is the Philippine Sea. it's really the Republic of Indonesia, and they have presidents. And at the moment, the president's name is Subianto. Indonesia has great, I should probably underline the little island names, otherwise they'll get lost. Indonesia has some great, I think that's Denpasar there, 10%, which is probably that little. I probably could have written it there, couldn't I? 10%, that'll write in twice. That's the island name. And that's obviously Timor, and East Timor, and Papua New Guinea now. I should just put in down there somewhere. I don't think I've got it on my map. Is where Singapore is. Anyway, on there. One interesting thing to mention before I wrap up the video is the great, two things actually, or maybe three things actually. Just looking at my notes. It's a tropical country, so it's wet season, dry season, and it's pretty close to the equator, so it's hot 12 months of the year. Just sometimes when it's wet, there's high humidity and a lot of rain. And the dry season, and then it's hot, and no, not much rain. There's lots of volcanoes in Indonesia. Every now and then we see it on the news. There's a volcano that goes off, or maybe it's a different one, and then that means that flights to Bali get cancelled and people get stuck in Bali waiting to come home. There's lots of volcanoes, lots of mountains, and quite an interesting country. And then one last thing, the biodiversity. Great sort of plants, tropical plants, and they've also got, I think in Sumatra, they've got the orangutan. That's where the orangutan is, in Sumatra. You could be all over the place, man, I think orangutan means, I got a little spot right up there. Orangutan, which means man of the jungle. They got the Komodo dragons, which is probably up to 3 meters long, these big reptiles. Massive big lizards, I suppose. Komodo dragons, I wonder if there's, I didn't have it written down, but Sumatra. And there's Sumatra tigers as well, so yeah. I'd say I'm really excited about doing this video. I've learned so much about a close neighbour of Australia. Exactly how close it is. New Guinea. I'm pretty sure all the green part was originally the Dutch East Indies. Papua was a British colony, and then New Guinea here was a German colony, and so they came together. I think then after World War II, 1945, then Australia sort of became a bit of a territory where we looked after them. Well, that's probably the wrong way to put it. Help them get established, and then in 1975, I think is that. So, pretty sure that's the end of the video. Oh yeah, one other thing to do. Okay, so one other thing to do